Today we're going to be talking about US oil or WTI crude oil, and we're going to be picking up from where we left off in regards to the last video that I did on oil. Okay, so there was a couple of things I was expecting to take place when I did the last video on oil, and obviously it kind of moved in the opposite direction, but these are things that we expect to happen in the market as we actually trade. Not everything that we say happens. As much as I want it to happen, whatever I say I want it to come true, it doesn't always happen that way, right? But the best thing that we can do is always make sure that we keep ourselves as dynamic as possible, so if market goes the other way, we are well positioned to take advantage of that, so that situation presents itself. So if I jump into the hour, right, you're gonna notice that based on where we was last week, right? So last week when I did the recording on oil, we was in this area somewhere, right? So we was in this area somewhere when I did the recording, and I basically laid out what I normally do, which is I put in my price predictions facing two directions if certain conditions are met. So for example, if price closes above these levels, we're looking for longs. If price closes below this level right here, we're looking for sells, right? And based on how everything was kind of looking when I did the recording, right, we were more leaning towards sells than we were leaning towards buys. And naturally, as you can see, all of the price predictions at the bottom, none of it came true, okay? But however, price went upwards. So this is something that we learn from. So moving forward, just gonna get rid of all of these levels that are no longer required, right? So you're gonna get rid of all of that, and then we're gonna take a look to see exactly what happened, if there was anything that I could have done to save myself if I was going to get into oil, right? And based on what we had going on, because I'm not really sure the details as to where we was when I did that potential recording. Actually, wait, hang on, I think I might have it. Okay, right, so this was the screenshot that I used for the position, and obviously we had an ascending channel, so I'm assuming price is coming down. We had break of structure, resistance level up here. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the original now. So this is where we was at, okay? This was where we was at, and this was why I was thinking that there was a high possibility that we should be looking for sells supposing to buys. But however, there was one key piece of information that I literally missed that I should have kept an eye on, and that is this move right here, okay? The bounce from the low value node area. So when I did the recording, it's fair to assume that we had all this in place, right? And we had the bounce from the low value area, so that should have been a really good indicator to let me know that the probability of price pushing upwards was quite high, right? So with that said and done now, okay, so now we've gone back, we've cleaned up the little errors that we could have made, right? And the volume profile from where we've taken it still makes sense. So let me just have a look where I got that from. Yep, it still makes a lot of sense. Let me push it back further. Okay, so I've moved the volume profile a bit back to around, say, April the 25th, so that we can get some data on this side over here, just to help us with what's taking place now as price is doing this thing, moving upwards. So at least you have an idea as to what direction or where it's most likely, or where we will most likely see some form of a retracement, okay? So as it stands right now, okay, it is fair to assume that we have, let's say, a large channel up here, right? So we have a large channel in this area right now that we can just use for reference point. This is the channel right here, okay? So this is the channel that we have now, okay? Price is currently down here, so price is currently sitting at point of control right now of the volume profile. So this is the point of control. As a matter of fact, let me just highlight that, make it a little bit stronger. let's do point of control. Let's make that red. Let's make that about 3, and let's give a dotted line. So at least we can see all of that. So we know that these dotted line or intermittent line right here is the point of control in red, right? This is where price is sitting at right now, okay? And the probability of price pushing all the way up is quite high. Why do I say that? Because based on what I'm looking at right now, okay, we have price bouncing from this low value node area right here, right? So this is the low value node area right here, and this is price reacting to this area right in this location over here. So I'm expecting price to make his way all the way up to the top of the high value area of the volume profile, which is this area right here. This is where 99.99% of all business is being done, right? And this is where there isn't a lot of business taking place in. And also up here, there isn't a lot of business being taking place in these low value areas either. Most of the concentration of trades is all in this area right here, okay? So I'm going to go off the vibe based on what we've seen right here, so which is the bounce from this low value node area, another bounce from this low value node area over here as well, is the price is going to go up, okay? Now, with price heading up, we have a really large low value node area up here, okay, which means either price is going to reject it straight off like it did in these areas. So I'll point those out to you, okay? So this is the actual size of the low value node area, right? So based on what we're looking at right now, okay, when price actually gets into this particular zone right here, right, which is when it leaves the high value area of the volume profile, it makes its way into the low value area of the volume profile, we will find a whole bunch of low value nodes in that area, okay? So in that area, we have low value nodes here, low value nodes here, and low value nodes here. Rather than just draw boxes all the way through, we're just going to draw one fat one because essentially they're that close together that it's just one giant low value node. So on this side here, there isn't that many passive orders sitting there, which basically means one of two things. Either price would rapidly, when it gets to this zone, it would rapidly fly through this zone and settle at the top somewhere, right? Or price will just basically tap in and then collapse back down again, right? Now, a rejection from this area right here is a really, really, really good signal for us, because a rejection in this area basically means that the probability of price breaking down at this level is quite high. So we could look for sales from this level over here downwards, okay? It is possible because why? It's happened before over here. Price went in, came down, price went in again, came down, price went in, gave a really good break to the downside, okay? And then obviously now price is now pushed all this way. Price has now pushed itself all the way back in again, and then it pulled away, and now it's looking like it's going to head back into it again, and it could possibly pull away again. So we can see areas where price pulled away from it, got close, got in, pulled away, got in, pulled away, got in, pulled away, got in, got in, pulled away, got in, and pulled away, and now it's here. I'm expecting it to go here. I don't know what's going to happen when it's in here, okay? But if it comes down to this level again, I know it's coming down, right? If it closes above this level, then I know it's going up, all right? Now, I can't see the US, right, wanting the price of a barrel of crude to go above $70. I can't see them actually wanting that, right? So this level, I can't see price going beyond that, right? I just can't see it. It could happen, but I don't think it will. what I think most likely will happen is price is going to find itself in here somewhere, right? And then ultimately we're going to see it down here. And if we do, we're looking for sales. That's what we're looking. We're looking for sales. This structure over here supports a drop to the downside, okay? And this zone has given us consistent data that it is rejecting price at these levels. It's actively rejecting price. So price could break through or it could reject it again, right? So with that said and done, right, let me point out the levels of interest, because we probably will be visiting oil again next week, right? So we're not going to talk about it for a little while. So let me just drop these levels down here. So I would say we're looking for sales if you can see price below 63.31, right? We're looking for buys if we get price close above 71.23, right? With the sell side of things, we don't necessarily need price to break below this swing low over here, okay? Because this level is a very strong resistance, right? Price is rejecting off of it. Do you know what I mean? So we can basically use that as the ultimate guide to let us know if we're going to be in the long position or if we're going to be in the short position. So based off that right now, I'm going to say this. Any form of entry that I am looking for in the market, I am looking for these entry points at this level over here and this level over here in regards to oil. So that means I've got to be patient and I've got to wait. I could take a gamble and jump in right here because I'm like, okay, it's left this low value node area, so it's pushing up. So I could do that, right? But if I want to be absolutely sensible and I want to make sure my trade is as good as I can possibly get it, then what I would do is I would wait at this level right here for my sales if I get a retracement, and I will get, and I'll target this level up here if I get price break above it. That's when it will make sense for me to jump in with positions. So with all of that said and done, if you're watching up until now, okay, I definitely think you should not even consider, you owe me a subscribe. So hit that subscription button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, right? Because all the things you subscribe to, trust me, you want to be subscribed to channels that's going to help you get to the bag, right? Right? That's what you want. So definitely owe me a subscribe, especially if you have watched all the way up to here, right? Now, with that said and done, I will see all you amazing people on the next one.